Hey my friends, welcome back to the Nightmare Cinema Club. Today we're going to cover a movie from way back. I was 16 years old when this came out. I was still in high school. I remember the posters that I saw for this thing automatically drew me to this movie. I just had to see it because, again, it stars some of my favorite actors in Hollywood. But it stars the creator of Pulp Fiction, Mr. Quentin Tarantino, and George Clooney in From Dusk Till Dawn. Now guys, you're looking for a vampire movie. It's going to scare the pants off of you. It's also funny and sexy in a way. Check out 1996. This is From Dusk Till Dawn, directed by Robert Rodriguez. What a great film, guys. It's classic. It's absolutely classic. I mean, there's another couple of great actors that star in it. It's Harvey Keitel. You might know him from movies like The Piano. Very nice movie. It's not a horror, but it's a very nice movie. Juliette Lewis, another one of my favorite actors. She played in Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson, and she also had a very nice movie, also not a horror movie, but The Other Sister. If you can ever find that movie, I think it's one of her best performances that I've ever seen. But for now, we're sticking with From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, the movie premise is very simple. We have two brothers, played by George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, Rich and Seth. They recently robbed a bank. They killed some people in the process, unfortunately, and now they're running from the law. They're making a lot of big kak. If you don't know what kak means, sorry, I just have to help you. Kak in Afrikaans, my native language, means shit. But yeah, they're making a lot of kak. Now they have to bail for the border. They have to get into Mexico, so the authorities can't catch them. Well, the Texas Rangers, they're very pissed off at these two guys because they've killed officers of the law, and yeah, I think actually, if I remember correctly, John Saxon actually makes a cameo in this as well. There's a lot of cameos by some great actors and famous people in this thing, but he makes a cameo as the head of the police department, swearing revenge on these two brothers. And but yeah, like I was saying, they're heading for the border. Richie isn't all that well. He has a little bit of a problem. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is a maniac anyway, but yeah, he plays this role great, absolutely great. Seth is the more calm of the two, but he's still a very badass. This is one of George Clooney's most badass roles that I've ever seen him. And along the way, they meet up with a family, a preacher and his two kids, Kate Scott and Jacob, played by Harvey Keitel. Now Jacob, he was a preacher, but he lost his faith due to the death of his wife. So he's going through a little bit of a spiritual crisis at the moment. But they're also on their way to a new life, just moving away from the tragedies that befallen their family. Now, unfortunately, they run into Seth and Richie, who's staying at the same hotel on the way to Mexico. So they kidnap them. They basically hold them hostage and tell them to get them over the border so they can get to their freedom. And Seth promises Jacob that he wouldn't harm his family or him if he does so. So, okay, Jacob, for his kid's sake, he's going to do it. But you can also see that Harvey Keitel's character doesn't take any bullshit. This guy he's straight along. Don't mess with me. I'll murder you. But eventually, after a very tense scene at the border, there's a little bit of a fight between Seth and his brother. They do get across the border. Now, at this point, we think everything is peachy and saily. There's no hint of the horrors to come. So Seth tells Jacob to drive down to this nightclub bar, whatever, and they would stay there until the next morning, and then their pickup will come and pick them up, and the family can go, and Seth and Richie go their own way. But unbeknownst to them, they're heading into one of the biggest vampire nests you'll ever see. Now the bar has a very nice name. It's called a Titty Twister. I mean, there's bikes, there's lights, there's fluorescent lights. It looks so cool. And what I love about this movie is the rock music in this thing. I do think the band that plays in the bar, they're quite good. But I think the band would sound better if it was guys like Stevie T on guitar, or Jared Dines on drums, and maybe Austin Dickey on vocals. I think that would spice up the band more. But okay, for now we'll stick to the guy. I mean, those guys I just mentioned, I love their work. I love everything they do on YouTube. Check them out. But it's a great atmosphere. Okay, there's some nudity in it. There's a lot of. I mean, the place is called the Titty Twister. So there's some boobs flying around. There's a lot of bikers and there's a lot of fighting inside. But I mean, what do you expect? There's no hint that this is a vampire den. At first, we meet this character. Now this guy, I can't remember his name, but he actually plays 3 roles in From Dusk Till Dawn. The first role you see him in is one of the border officers interrogating Jacob while crossing the border. The second one, we find him outside of the bar, and he's talking about a lot of okay, I can't say the word, but I'll translate it back to cat. He talks about bald cat, smelly cat, hairy cat, snapping cat, muddy cat, hot cat, cold cat, apple pie cat. If you watch the movie, you'll know exactly what the word cat is replacing. But yeah, that's his second part, and then later on in the movie we meet him at the end of the movie. He's actually the contact that needs to get them into Mexico. But besides that, eventually they get into the bar. At first there was a little bit of trouble, they couldn't get in, and the evening seems to go well. Until there's this one very sexy performance by one Salma Hayek. I mean, beautiful, absolutely beautiful woman. And then everything turns into chaos, because then the vampires, they know they've captured a lot of human beings inside, and now it's feeding time, and then all hell breaks loose. Now we even have some cameos by Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero, and they do a little bit of acting in the movie as well. Guys, I'm not going to spoil the movie if you haven't seen this, but trust me, you want to see limbs being ripped off, you want to see a lot of blood, you want to see vampires flying all over the place, see this. There's this unfortunate scene where some of the family members do get killed. Scott gets killed, and there's some other developments that I'm not going to mention in this, because I want you to see the movie if you haven't seen it. But the ending is very satisfying, because George Clooney just kicks ass. That's all I'm gonna say. But guys, see this movie, find this movie. You want to hear some great rock music, again, you want to hear some nice bluesy music, you want to see a great storyline, and you want to see a good vampire movie, check out 1996's From Dusk Till Dawn. It's worth it, my friends. But that's my look back today, my friends. I will see you guys soon. Thank you for the viewing, and thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers, my friends.